Okay, year 11s, pay attention. I am going to take 20 minutes out of my life at home to demonstrate for you how to do an analysis of a representation. And what we have here is Azealia Banks's music video. Okay, so I'm going to take you through some pretty simple steps. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, step number one, is to simply experience the music video. Okay, we're not going to watch with a pen in hand or any note taking, nothing like that. You're just going to take 3 minutes of your time to watch it and just experience it. Alright, so if you're doing this in class, do that now. Mr. Burns, let them do it. Okay, so you've watched the clip. Now it's time to watch it a second time. But this time, you're going to pause, take notes, and identify a couple of things, alright? So let's do that now. Alright, before we even get more than 10 seconds into the clip, there's some things I noticed straight away, okay? I noticed it's black and white, and that's unusual because hip-hop videos are usually color, okay? And we've got some settings. We've got an urban setting, typical, well actually, if I pause it, now that I see it, it's a liquor shop. Alright, so we've got other shots, typical urban settings. You got streets, you got fronts of houses, things like that. Alright, you got this dude with a baseball cap, he's black, he's wearing a white t-shirt, he's got like this little bit of bling on, but not too much. He looks like a pretty casual looking guy, and he's against a background that's pretty typical of street settings, you know, the brick wall like that, and the pipes sticking out the side, okay? These are the things that I'm seeing, alright? I'm not going to focus so much on the sound, because this is a music video, so it's meant to be simply visual to match with the music.
Hey, I can be the answer. I'm ready to dance when the beat.
Whoa! Look at those lips. Alright, okay. So here we have extreme close-up of a mouth, okay? The mouth of the artist. And by now, I've also noticed who the subject of this music video is. It's her. It's Azealia Banks. It's the artist herself, which usually is the purpose of a music video. Not all the time. But in this case, she's the subject. She's what's being represented. Alright, so let's see how that representation looks.
And when I hit that dip, get your camera. You can see even that bitch shit the camera. In the digging that young sister beacon. The bitch who wants to compete. And I can freak fit that pump with the beat. And you know what your bitch become when her weeping. I just wanna sit that punch with your peeps and sit in that lunch if you're treating. Kick it with your bitch.
Alright, okay. Got a lot to talk about here. So here's one of my favorite shots. This is what I noticed, you know, like kind of giggled at this the first time. So it made a reaction out of me. I like this this shot. It's still, it's a medium shot, and the characters, the main subjects, are just dancing into the middle of the frame. So it kind of has this silly look to it, you know. It looks like they're having fun, it looks like they're not taking themselves too seriously, but they still look cool. Alright, so let's have a look at the subject, the main subject of this media product, and that's the artist herself. First of all, let's look at what we see. I see ponytails, okay, pigtails. I see a funny Mickey Mouse sweater, alright, and that's interesting because, you know, you don't usually see that in hip-hop clips. And I see really short jeans. Alright, cool. Let's talk about the Mickey Mouse jumper. That kind of looks like it's representing her as being kind of sweet, innocent, a bit childish, a bit pure, a bit naive. And that's deliberate because what she's doing is she's taking a stereotype, you know, a female black hip-hop artist, and she's twisting it. She's giving it her own identity. She's wearing something that is really strange to see in this clip, like the Mickey Mouse jumper. And when you contrast that, when you compare that to the lyrics and to the sound of the music, it's like it doesn't seem to match, but it's done deliberately. It's like taking a stereotype and twisting it into a counter type. And even look at the way she's kind of dancing, you know, she's kind of got these funny little movements. So is this guy here, he's looking really kind of dorky, but like deliberately, so it's kind of looks cool. And you know, look at the sass that she brings to the camera, like she's, you know, she's looking kind of sexy, she's looking kind of like, kind of cheeky, kind of playful, you know, it also contradicts her costume, alright? So she's definitely not a stereotype. Alright, okay, let's deal with this. Alright, now, yes, it is the word you thought it is. You thought it was. It is shown here in this clip, kind of randomly, but it's not random. It's deliberate. Okay, this is an example of using language as a way of representation. All right, now she's deliberately chosen to use this word A in the song and B in the video clip. All right, so she's definitely wanting to thrust that controversial word out there for you to kind of shock you, to kind of show you that this isn't just your typical hip hop artist. Like, she is pushing the boundaries. I've never even heard or seen that word used in another video clip. Okay, so she's definitely already doing something that has not been done before, from my memory.
I'm the uptown A nigga, you know what's up or don't you? Word who made ya? I'm a rude bitch nigga, what are you made up of? I'ma eat your food up, boo, I could bust your eight, I'ma do one too.
She's so hot. Okay, alright. Now, let's pause it there. So say we've watched it all a second time, we've taken some notes. Here's what my notes look like. Alright? Here are our notes on Azealia Banks. Identify first the subject. The subject is the artist Azealia Banks. That's important because we want to know what's being represented, mainly. Alright, I'm trying to work out the point of view of the artist. Alright, so here's what they think. The artist, I think, she thinks she's sassy, sexy, she's a newcomer, she's young, she's black, she's controversial, and she's edgy. This is what she thinks of herself, or this is what the marketing team have put in her head as how she should be represented. Alright? So that's the point of view. Now let's have a look at the mediation. Alright, I've broken it down into visual codes and audio codes. However, we're not looking at audio codes because it's a music video. We're looking at the visual codes mainly. Alright, so here are my notes. See how I've kind of jotted them down. I've got, you know, color, what I noticed, the black and white. So this is the code, this is the description, and also the effect of that code. I've got costume, you know, the Mickey Mouse jumper, and I've got some notes next to that. You know, I talk about her hair, talk about her posture, you know, I write kind of keywords, you know, like she's got a sassy, kind of daggy, kind of sweet dance look to her because of the way she moves, the poutiness, you know, all of these kind of buzzwords that come to mind, alright? So these are a lot of adjectives. So you're going to need to boost your vocabulary a bit more if you want to be able to describe something specifically. Alright? Now here's the meaning that I'm taking out of it. Alright? So I'm actually taking a dominant stance because I think it's done well. I think she has successfully represented herself in the way that she wants. You know, to me, she's really attractive. She's represented as being very talented, very different. The you know, the combination of the costume and the black and white and the dance moves make it look kind of cool and funny. You know, her actual facial expressions and dance moves are kind of like, you know, she looks sexy. You know, the sound, I guess, the music type, but also the way it pokes fun of itself kind of makes it look kind of new, kind of like a new age. Doesn't look kind of old. It's controversial. The flashing flash ups of the lyrics with the swear words in it, you know, that kind of, you know, it's pretty obvious, even though it's just a flash, but it's pretty obvious that they're trying to look really controversial. So I think they've done a good job, so I'm taking a dominant stance in my meaning making. Alright? Okay, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit, but I just want to touch on a couple of things. First of all, after you've done the second viewing and you've taken some notes down, I want you to just sit back and I want you to think. Look at your notes and think about it. Alright? Think about where you stand in all of these things. Like, if you take it the next level, you'll also consider what is the influence the main influence on the context, on your context, that has helped you arrive at that conclusion, right? So, I mean, my context is that I've seen a lot of hip hop videos before, and I know kind of what the codes are for them. And she's subverting them with the color, her performance, her costume. So for me, my experience of seeing a lot of video clips in the past, so my historical or my personal experience, helps me decide that this is a well-made clip and it's doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, so that's my context. All right, that's really tricky. We'll work on how to do that. All right, now after you have a think about it, sometimes I find it necessary to do a little bit of unpacking, just so I know for sure what I think. And the best way to do that is a brainstorm, like a synoptic map. Um, what is the synoptic map? It's basically just unpacking something and having a look at all the different elements that make up that something. I'll explain in class. All right, but here's what I want to quickly show you, is this part. This is the most important part. All these ideas that you have, it's no good just having them in your mind, all right? You're at school, you want to demonstrate what you've learned, and I want to know what your opinion is, okay, and what your analysis is. So you have to share it. And the way that we usually have to share it, because of the game that we play that's called VCE, is to write an essay, all right? I'm not going to do that now. I don't expect you to start doing that just yet. But let's practice just focusing on writing just a single paragraph. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so here's my one paragraph. Presentation of the main subject of the music video 212 by Azealia Banks demonstrates how artists can subvert typical stereotypes and portray the artist as something edgy, different, and innovative. And, well, no, controversial. Okay. Let's get straight into it. The use of certain codes, such as the costume design and the use of black and white, gives the impression of someone who is not the run of the mill hip hop artist. Okay, there it is. One paragraph, made up on the spot. Whew. I have succeeded as a human being. Thank you. Good night.